My name is Tony Rose. I'm the publisher CEO of Amber Communications Group, Inc., the nation's largest African-American book publisher of self-help books and music biographies. Our company, Amber, is the parent company of Amber Books, Colossus Books, Quality Press, and the African-American Pavilion at bookexpoamerica.com. We've been in business since 1998. We've sold over 1.5 million books around the world. And I'm here to tell you how to get published. Are there any writers here? Any other writers? I'm going to be kind of brief, and then I'm going to go to questions because there's really only one way to do something. So without a lot of words, I'll tell you the basic points of how to get published in the United States of America. First thing is be smart about what you're doing if you're a real writer. Understand what writing is. It's an art. It's a craft. One of the major things you can do is go to a community college or college and study literature, English literature, any type of literature that gives you the credibility at what you're doing. Credibility means everything on getting published. One should have some type of degree, some type of experience, some type of knowledge of what they're writing before a publisher will sign you. And that can be garnered in many ways, many ways. You can put out a book, sell 25,000, 35, 40,000 copies, and a publisher will sign you right away and give you an advance. If you are not a famous author, and this is the key situation here, then you should write about a famous subject or a famous person. Publishers want fame. They want something that they can sell to millions of people if possible. Major publishers have a direct connection to large distributors around the world. So if you're smart, if you are not famous yet, if you have not sold 10,000, 5,000, 20,000, 15,000, 50,000 books on your own as a self-publisher, then you should write about somebody else that's famous. This will draw a publisher to you. I believe in that wholeheartedly. We put out books on Nicki Minaj, Jay-Z, Lil Wayne, Rick James. It's endless who we have and work with. We put out books on Barack Obama because he's the most famous man in America and just about in the world. So if we put out a book that has Barack Obama's face on the cover, we're going to sell a lot of books. So what you want to do is be smart and attract. You have to attract a publisher. They're not coming after you. You have to go after them with your brain and what you're writing about. Other than that, there's really nothing more except know how to write, get an education, know what you're doing, reach out to as many publishers as you can, self-publish your book first if that's what you want to do. And of course, with me is the nation's largest self-publishing company, Quality Press, is the nation's largest African-American book publishing company in America, and that's Yvonne Rose, the director of the company right there. She's done since 2001, she has worked with over 12,000 self-publishers across America, and successfully. A lot of them getting deals with major publishers throughout the country. So you either write about something that people want. If you want to write about your grandmother, that's nice. You'll sell books with friends and family. If you want to write about yourself, that's nice. You'll sell books with friends and family until you get famous. But if you want to write about somebody and make money and get a deal, then write about while you're an unknown author, write about a subject that everybody wants. We started out as self-publishers ourselves, in 1997. First book we put out was called Is Modeling for You? The Handbook and Guide for the Young Aspiring Black Model. That book sold 80,000 copies simply because every 14-year-old African-American girl in the United States knows that she can model, and all she wants is advice. And so we sold it to everyone. So make sure you have a subject that everyone wants to read about. That will make you famous. Fame is what America buys. America buys fame. America buys success. People always ask me, so how do I get famous? How do I get successful? Put out a book, sell it in your locality. If you're from Atlanta, then you need to get famous in Atlanta by doing a lot of media, by doing newspapers, television, radio, or anywhere, everywhere, until your name becomes a household name where you're at. Speaking engagements, speak everywhere. Always have something under your hand, a book under your hand, a magazine that you're doing, a product. Carry a product around with you. Manufacture a product. That way you're selling yourself constantly, not only yourself, but you're making money selling a product. So if you're a writer and you're not famous yet, then self-publish and make yourself famous. And the easiest way to do that, again, I keep going back to it, is write about a subject that everybody wants or knows about already. Who's the most famous person in America outside of President Barack Obama as a celebrity? Who? LeBron James? Then I would do an 85-page book on LeBron James. I research him, go to Google, know everything, get some pictures online, throw them in a book, do an 85-page book on LeBron James, and go sit outside somewhere and you'll sell about 5,000 copies within about 2 months. You'll make some money right away. Do you understand the premise now? That's the premise, that's it.
Wondering about an audio.
What is your name?
My name is Jacqueline Chester, Jacqueline Clay Chester.
And you're wondering
About an audio book.
to turn this into an audio book?
How important is an audio?
Is this self-published by you? Is this your company? Or
Author House.
Author House is not a publisher, they're Vanity Press.
Oh, okay.
Okay? You paid them to publish this.
Right.
Then you're a self-publisher and with Author House.
Okay.
Okay? The difference between self-publishing, a real publisher does not charge you to publish a book. They sign you to a contract, pay you in advance, and/or higher royalties. Vanity Presses, which is what Quality Press is that Yvonne Rose runs, you do pay to self-publish your book. That's the difference between a publisher and a self-publisher. With a self-publisher situation, you own the company. This is your company. If you own the ISBN, you own your book. If you give your ISBN away to a self-publishing company, at Quality Press, we give you an ISBN that you pay for, which means when you come out of Quality Press, you are paid for it and own your book. It's your book. If you collect the money for your book, then you are a self-publisher. You own the book, you collect the money. If another publisher that says they're a publisher, but they're really a self-publisher is collecting your money, it's illegal. You cannot pay and then they retain. It's illegal to do that. So your question is, how do you get to an audio book?
Is it important to do that at all?
No, it's not. If you've sold 20,000 copies, it is. If it's not, I wouldn't spend the money on doing an audio book until you sell enough copies that it's worth it, that you have an audience built up and know you have an audience that might want to listen to this in the comfort of their home and listen with headphones or in a car or something like that. Until then, keep moving with, this is a book of fiction?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, it's a memoir.
So what?
It's a memoir.
Oh, it's a memoir, yours,
Yes.
your story.
Yes.
That's wonderful. Black Girl in Moscow, a memoir by Jacqueline Clay Chester. Looks like a wonderful book. It's a story.
It's a great experience.
What I recommend sometimes when you do a memoir and you have something like this that you believe in totally and you think is a pretty good story, you may want to find a script writer and prepare this for a film.
Absolutely.
Prepare what you're doing to get into a film and look for a filmmaker, a director, somebody like that that can work with you and maybe get something made. That's my recommendation. I would go for a film more than an audiobook. Thank you very much. You're already on your way. Let's congratulate her.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
My question is, how do you feel about hiring a publicist? I'm a self-publisher as well, and
What is your name, please?
I'm Terry Whitmire, and I have 5 books so far, and I'm looking to kind of branch out and get more exposure. And so I've looked into hiring a publicist to try and set up engagements and things so forth to get my name out there and do more speaking engagements, just like you suggested, or workshops. That's really my niche. What are your thoughts on that?
The question is, this lady is a self-publisher. She has 5 books that she's written. She does very well. Her books are on faith. And she's looking to hire a publicist that will work with her and get her name more well-known and get some fame, game, and name. Is that it? All right. Where are you based?
I'm here.
In Atlanta? Then I would start out with by getting an Atlanta publicist, somebody who lives here, has worked here, knows radio, television, newspapers, the media, is closely affiliated with the media, knows a lot of people who do things, gets around, knows churches, a lot of church people and pastors and congregations. A person who's very well known for what they do in Atlanta. Because the key to your success, don't worry about national. Worry if you're doing it alone until you get a publisher. If a publisher would be interested in you, then they'll take you national themselves. But while you're doing it, you don't want to spend $10,000 on a publicist. You want to spend probably a couple of $100. Just to be honest, I would say about $350 a month for a good publicist who can make you famous locally, and to make you a name in Atlanta, plaster you on TV, and the radio, newspapers, $350 a month, every month, hand her a check, she's doing the job. After that, the world is yours.